Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another segment of the Prepping Channel. Of course, I'm Sarah, and today we're going to be talking about how to prep your children for a blackout. So a blackout is when there is like no electricity. You have no electricity at all. Anything in your house that runs on electricity is now dead to you. That is what a blackout is. And if you have children, you understand how significant emotional event this can possibly be if you are not prepped. So let's get started. First of all, prepping for a blackout, not hard, but it does require a lot of consistency and it requires a lot of dedication because there's stages that you have to work in order to prep yourself and to prep everyone in your home. So first, this is going to probably upset a lot of parents when I say this. Minimize the electronics that your children are using. I know we love to stick our children in front of the TV because it's less work for us and they get to watch whatever it is and consume all of their time, but it is not good for them. Take your children from in front of the TV, take them from in front of the video games, take the phones away, and start to minimize the electronics. A rule that's in my husband's house: I do not buy toys for my children that have batteries. I know, such a terrible mom, but I do not. If anyone gifts them with toys that have batteries, when the batteries die, I do not replace batteries at all. So what ends up happening is my children will have a toy, let's say, that did have a battery. And what if it played songs or did some type of whatever it does, when that toy's battery is done, they start to act out what that toy used to do. They start to imagine and play and start to just continue on doing what that toy used to do. And when I found out that little secret, and I found that out when they were very small, I said, wow, I really don't need toys with batteries. So I stopped buying them. Your children, generally, I'm going to tell you, 90% of you that are watching this video, I promise you, your children are addicted to electronics. They're addicted to some form, whether it's an iPad, whether it's the TV, whether it's their phones, whether it's a gaming system. They are addicted in some way, shape, or form to electronics. They probably spend about 10% of their day throughout the entire week going outside and playing, and it doesn't matter the weather. They don't spend a lot of time away from screen time on their eyes. So what happens is they develop an addiction. You want to know how your child has an addiction to screen time? Simple. Take it away. Go 2 days without having your children watch TV, without having them be on their phones, without having them on their iPads and their gaming systems. Take that away. And if your children start to act crazy, they don't know what to do with their time, they have no idea what to do with themselves now, they're going everywhere, that lets you know your child is addicted to electronics. And you, as the parent, you have to now fix that. Because what's going to happen when a blackout comes and you no longer have the ability to have that electronics to sustain their attention? You have to now, in that moment, figure out how you're going to do that. And your child is going to be crazy. They're going to be acting out because all they know to sustain their attention is electronics. If you start now to start prepping, they will not have that problem. So let's start with some things you can do to prep for a blackout as well. When you talk about blackout, generally, we don't think about the nighttime. We think about the day and having no electronics, all those things. But we don't think about what happens at night. Most children are afraid of the dark, or if they're not afraid of the dark, like, oh my God, like throwing a tantrum about it, they're at least in some way, shape, or form very uncomfortable. And they tend to cling to you a lot more when it is darker. So how do you combat that, right? How do you start to get your children used to that? Start playing games. So one thing we do in our home, we play hide and seek in the dark. It is the best thing. We turn off all the lights in the house. Everybody hides, all of the children, everybody, and we try to find each other just like you would a normal game of hide and seek. We play darts, at night darts. So we put on like maybe the little glow bracelets or the glow necklaces, and then we have little darts and we try to shoot them and find each other and shoot them. We play splash in the dark. So we take water guns, we go around the house, and yes, okay, it might be a little messy, but it's water. seriously, you've spilt water on many more things in your house than just playing. So those are like fun little things that you can do to just get them accustomed to the dark. And you can play that maybe once a week, even once a month. It changes their entire perception of what the dark starts to mean to them, because it becomes something fun and not something that they should be afraid of, or something that they just don't know how to do anything, or it debilitates them. When it's dark, they start to release all of those fears, and it's really because you prep them to do so. The next thing is, this is definitely a challenge that I give to everyone. Have a day once a month where you have a blackout day. So what that means is your entire family, you turn off all the electricity in your house. Right? Of course, leave your fridge and things like that plugged in, but everything else is no electricity. No one in the house is allowed to use electricity for 24 hours. So there is no plugging in your phone to charge it. There is no using hot water to take a shower, because hot water, unless you have gas, comes from electricity. There is no cooking on the stove if you have an electric stove, all of those things. And it creates an environment where you are now forced to start to use the skills that you need in case there really is a blackout. You start to see the different personalities, the different behaviors your children have during a blackout, when they don't have those electronics that you didn't really think was a big deal. And even yourself, what a great tool to use to start prepping even all the adults in your home. Because again, this is not during a blackout, when things are dark and when there's no electricity, that is not the time you want to prep. It's not the time you want to find out your child goes crazy when they don't have a cell phone or an iPad. It's not the time you want to find out that your child is deathly afraid of the dark when there is no one there with them. That is not the time you want to find that out. It is not the time for you to find out, I have no idea how to cook on a fire because I've never prepped and planned to do so, because I never thought the lights or the power would ever be a blackout. Stop thinking that these things will never happen. You see all over the news, famines are coming, blackouts are coming, all of these things, they are coming. And if you are not prepping your children, your family properly, you are doing yourself a disservice, and you are going to be crazy and cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when that time comes. So start having it once a month. Then what you can do, utilize this time to kill two birds with one stone. So you can then use your bug out bags. You can try all of the equipment that you would maybe if you were out in the woods. You can start trying those things and utilizing them, seeing how they work. Your crank up chargers, do they actually charge your phone sustainably? Those are the type of things that you can see, and then you can start to now prep. Okay, I use this and this is great, but this really doesn't work, so we need to maybe switch this out for something different. Those are the things that you want to start doing. And then once you get really good, you can start increasing it, not one day, but maybe 2 days at a time. And then maybe more than once a month. I mean, each family is going to be different, because at each level, each family is prepped at a very different level. And each family takes it and they run with it at a different pace. Some are really excited and like, yes, this is a new challenge, let's do it. Some not so much, and they're like, oh my God, how are we even going to? But this is the best time for you to get all of those kinks out, for you to get all of the nuances out that you would have experienced had you not prepped up until this point. Okay? Find ways that you can improve everything around you. Each time that you do this challenge, it should be an improvement. There should be something you learned from the last time that you should be applying to the time, each consecutive time that you start to do the once a month blackout. And why don't you invite friends? Don't let it just be for your house. Invite a community of friends and say, hey, let's do a blackout. And everybody is on the same page. And what that sparks is a sharing of ideas, a sharing of innovative things that maybe another family has come up with that you can utilize for your own family. When we work together as a collective community, things are easier, right? It makes everything, it doesn't matter any trials or any troubles that come, any of the pestilence that sin to come, those things become much more bearable, because you have people around you that understand and that are able to help each other and have different skills and value sets that they're able to bring to the table. Teach your children basic skills, right? This is the time when, if your child doesn't know how to start a fire, listen, teach them how to start a fire. Your child is not too young. Stop putting them in a box. If you have a 2-year-old, oh my God, I don't want him near the fire. I don't want him. Stop putting your children in a box. They know how to carry water. They know how to put sticks down. They know how to do all of those things that you think are so dangerous. But what are you going to do when you don't have a choice? What are you going to do if you've never taught them how to mitigate safety and you've only shielded them from it? What are you going to do when that time comes and now they are in a predicament where mommy and daddy isn't there? What do? So this will be the best time. Teach them how to start a fire. And not only that, your daughters, teach them how to cook over a fire. Teach them how to cut vegetables and things using a wood pallet outside. Teach them how to make a knife out of wood that they get from off of a tree. Teach them how to fish. Teach them how to hunt. Teach them those skills that will be so required, because here's the thing. It will get tiring very quick when just you and your husband are the only ones that are doing the work. It gets very daunting. When you have everybody in the family contributing, from the little baby you have on up, listen, the more that you put into something, the more value you feel coming out of it, the more invested you are in it. Guess what? The more excited you become. Your children will complain less. They will have less tantrums, and they will really feel like a valued member of the family, because you're utilizing them for skills that even their little selves, they have already developed. And they get excited about these things. They get excited to build a fire and things that we just like, oh my God, this is so. They get excited. They bring joy. And that's what we need to make sure that we're bringing, especially during a blackout. It's all about really your state of mind. It's all about how well have you prepped. That's why the prepping channel is so important. We go over things to get you to that place. So then when the time comes and your cell phones are not there, you don't have these videos, guess what? You're able to already know how to do these things because you've prepped yourself up to this point. The last thing is, as always, I say, watch your attitude. Your attitude is everything in every situation. If it's a blackout and you are freaking out, mom, you do not know how to cook outside. You yourself do not know how to fish. You are scared of a fish flopping in your hand. You're scared to gut things. Listen, it is going to be very difficult for you during that time. And everyone, you're going to get frustrated. You're going to feel down. You're going to feel overwhelmed. And guess what? Everyone around you is also going to feel that. Your children are, your husband is, and it's not going to be any sustainability for any of you. And what you've done now is you've caused so much more havoc and so much more problems emotionally on the entire family, simply because you chose not to prep early. So take the time out. Get your children involved. Go ahead and try out that challenge of once a month blackout. Get your children, play the fun games, start building them up to what is to come. Do not wait until the last minute. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification, and that way you can get all the videos when it's for prepping, so you know what to do when that time comes. Thank you all. I'm Sarah. Bye.